This is just the beginning of what's likely to be a mountain of legal battles. With me now to talk more about that is Jason Smolen. He's an estate and business attorney and co-founder of SmolenPlevy in Vienna, Virginia. Thank you very much for being here with us, Jason.
My pleasure.
A will, as we heard in Elizabeth's package, could be filed as early today, but it's 7 years old. Does that make a difference in the age of the will, or the fact that he has a will is good news?
Well, having the will is very good news. That it's 7 years old in and of itself is not a problem unless he created a whole bunch of others in between. If anybody finds a bunch more, then we're going to have a whole kitchen sink of problems going on here.
The will that they have found and that will be in court later today establishes guardianship of the 3 children. It gives it to his mother, Micheal Jackson, who everyone is talking about. She's elderly. Why give it to her? And what about the mother of the 2 older children, Debbie Rowe? She gave away parental rights. Can she still come in and claim rights now?
She probably could. The issue, it's very much like custody in a family issue, because what the court really is concerned about is what's in the best interest of the children, not what someone decided to put in the will. And when you don't have a natural mother or somebody that's clearly someone that was taking care of the children their whole life, standing in the side, as a spouse would normally be, the court could have a lot of hearings to decide. It's a custody battle. No one's going to need to watch a soap opera if they follow this.
The older children are 12 and 11. Would a judge even question them about who they would want to stay with?
It's still a very young age, and they're going to think what's best for the children, and an 11 and 12-year-old don't know necessarily what's best. It might take into consideration their thoughts on the matter, but there's also the issue of trying not to separate the older children from the younger and maintain a family intact. So that'll be a very overriding concern for the court.
And again, just the whole births and custody of the children complicated. The younger child, who is 7, there is a birth certificate, but there isn't even a person named as mother on that birth certificate. Anyone claiming to be that child's mother could say, I'm here, I want my child.
Yeah, people could come out of the woodwork on this one, and it may happen because so much is involved. But again, the court's going to be more concerned with what's best for these children, not some stranger that shows up that's never had any involvement in their lives. So I think what you'll find is it will be very much like a very highly contested custody battle, but ultimately the court will guide itself on what's best for those children.
And that's just one of the battles. Micheal Jackson also asked for control of some of the estate, the assets of the estate, when she asked for child custody. Jackson was deep in debt. I understand there were liens against his fortune. Is there anything left? And if there is, who's in line to get it first? Well,
this is where it's going to look a lot like a mini GM bankruptcy, because what you have on one side are these assets. You have children and a family that are supposed to be the beneficiaries of those assets, but then you have this long list and line of creditors. And they will be very interested in getting paid, so you're going to want to make sure that you try to preserve the estate in such a fashion that you don't give it away to the creditors too quickly and have enough left over, because there's a very valuable catalog of music that he has.
Exactly. And there also are the questions of, will there be criminal or civil suits filed in his death about the prescription drugs? This all sounds like the long saga with Anna Nicole Smith and the doctors who were tending to her.
Yeah, what will happen is whoever ultimately has decided to administer this estate or to run it as a trustee or an executor, as an appointed individual, they have to decide if any wrong was committed, and if they stand in Micheal Jackson's shoes, and they should decide if they need to sue somebody for relief for what had happened.
Jason, have you seen anything like this? I mean, I mentioned Anna Nicole Smith. There was the custody battle, 2 men claiming to be the father, Anna declaring who a father was, prescription drugs and criminal negligence on the part of doctors, or civil negligence. Anything compares?
Well, except for the scale, I mean, and perhaps the drug issues and things like that, it's not terribly unusual to have these issues for almost everybody if they don't do good planning.
Normal people too.
Normal people can run into these problems if you don't make adequate planning.
If you make the adequate planning, or even if you don't, in a situation like this for the celebrities or the normal people, will there be winners and losers, or is everybody going to share a little bit in the losing end of this?
Well, in this one, there will certainly be some losers, because not everybody's going to get what they want out of this. it seems, because of the valuable nature of his assets and their potential for growth and continuing, a lot like what happened to Elvis Presley's estate, it could generate enough money from the creditor point of view to pay everybody off. There's issues involved around the cancellation of his concert that was about to start. There may be liability there. Hopefully it was insured and taken care of, but so there could definitely be some losers. In terms of taking care of the children, someone's going to feel the wrong thing happen no matter what happens.
You mentioned with the Elvis Presley estate, there were debts there too, but in that case it seemed like it was made easier to figure it out. One mother and just one surviving child seems to, I don't know, minimize the problems?
Well, you definitely take a large issue off the table because, as you know, these are the people issues. I mean, it's family, it's children, so it will attract a lot of attention, and I don't want to call it noise because it's just very important, but dollars end up counting a lot too. So there will be people very focused on the money side of this.
Jason Smolen, thank you very much for being here with us. It's going to be a long, long, long legal battle.
Right.